Finally, after almost 11 years, we're actually getting a new Mario Kart game for the home console. And every single day, new ideas just keep popping into my head, just connecting all the little details that we saw in the teaser trailer. Even though the teaser trailer was short and seemed relatively simple when viewing it not at a frame-by-frame level, when actually looking closer, it's got so much packed into it. And honestly, there are still so many questions that are left unanswered. In my last video, I mentioned a few things I wanted to come back to, and today, we're diving into the potential for multiple routes, day and night variants, as well as the possibility of retro tracks based on all the facts we currently have from the teaser. The key here is to be thinking beyond what we know from past Mario Kart games. We've got to really let our imaginations run free here, as everything will look so damn obvious in hindsight. Not everything here is going to be black and white, and in this video, I throw in a lot of wild speculation, because it's all part of the fun, right? Before we do get started, I just wanted to let you know, because I am so damn excited, I'll be giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 and also a copy of Mario Kart when this game launches. All you need to do is be subscribed to be part of the giveaway, and you'll also get an extra entry as well if you're in the Swift Cafe Discord and are also following on Twitter. Now let's dive into the good stuff. Overanalyzing is what I do best, and Mario Bros Circuit gave me a field day with just 10 seconds of footage or so. We've got the obvious detail, like its name proudly displayed on the starting line banner and also painted on the road as well, but the track also comes with some adorable easy to spot landmarks, a Fireflower gas station, and even a drive-through burger place called Yoshi's, where the building is literally shaped like a Yoshi. Keen-eyed enthusiasts would notice that the layout also hints at some intriguing possibilities like alternative routes. In the desert highway section, for example, we have different pathways just branching off to different areas, which I'll come back to in a minute. Giving this changing route theory even more credibility is just the arrow signs at the very first and the second intersection. This isn't anything to be unexpected after Tour and the booster course pass introduced us to this new changing route system, and honestly, I actually quite enjoyed it. The only difference is this time, we're looking at actual physical arrow signs rather than just a glowing guide, which is so much better. If you need any more proof that these alternate paths might be legit, you can check out the area to the right of Yoshi's Diner. If you look real far into the distance, it's what looks like a midpoint lap banner, suggesting a potential split in the route. Or maybe there could even be the potential of this track being like Yoshi's Valley, where there's just a potential for split paths. We know you can probably go off-road at some point, as there are what appears to be ramps on the side of the road next to the highway. I'm more leaning towards what we saw in the city tracks from Mario Kart Tour and the booster course pass. However, more tracks like Yoshi's Valley will definitely be appreciated, especially when you have 24 races on a track. So far, everything that I've mentioned are things we've seen in past games. Even if you're just viewing this trailer as a normal person and not analyzing it frame by frame like a madman like myself, you'll even notice small things like the split paths at the very start of the track, of course all the sharp turns, beautiful background scenery, and even a nice long straightaway. But what makes this game's track different? Well, let's start with another quite obvious one, just being the 4-lane highway section. This actually features two-way traffic, with vehicles driving on the right-hand side, which is actually a first for a Mario Kart game. It's not the most groundbreaking change, but it is something new I thought I'd mention. What really grabbed my attention were the massive stadium lights dotted around the track, along with all the street lights just lining the course. Street lights aren't a new thing in Mario Kart. We've seen them on night tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe like Mario Kart Stadium, Toad's Turnpike, and Twisted Mansion, for example. But we've also seen them on daytime courses like Mario Circuit, Yoshi Circuit, and even Toad Harbor. So this isn't exactly groundbreaking on its own. But here's the kicker. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we see the big stadium lights anywhere from past tracks, at least not like this. Sure, you could compare them to Waluigi Stadium's lights, but that's an actual stadium, and those lights there are actually designed to light up the course in an enclosed arena, also set at night by the way. This to me seems different. The circuit here isn't in a stadium, yet it looks fully equipped for night racing with these massive lights. And it's not just on the first bend. If you pause and look closely, you can spot got them scattered around throughout the course. Have a look here, here, and even over there. This feels intentional, almost as if the lights themselves might play into the track's design or even hint at a dynamic day to night feature. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it is something worth keeping an eye on. This isn't all though. Not only are there plenty of different lights scattered around the track, but Yoshi's Diner and the gas station are decked out with neon lights that just seem ready to shine. Even the Mario Kart starting banner has lights on it. Everything here just looks ready to go for an incredible nighttime version. What convinced me even further about this theory is even the neon lights behind the gas station and also around the spiral rock. That rock will look so much better lit up. This would just fit in perfectly with the entire setting they have going on in this track. It really has me thinking of the old school neon light era, which was really popular from the 1920s to 60s and also again in the 80s. Another small detail that I noticed, and I'm not even sure if it's worth mentioning, but hell, I will anyway, are all the old school power lines scattered around the track. The one near the start seems to be connected to the ground, almost like it's part of the track's infrastructure. Even the massive neon loop on the rock appears to be connected potentially through this as well. Maybe I'm looking way too far into this, and trust me, I think I am, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway. A night variant here would just work so well for this track. Imagine the cars on the highway just turning on their headlights, or maybe even some light fog could just creep in along that long straightaway just to make it feel even more immersing. Just remember, this is just a theory for now though. Even if none of this came through, I still wouldn't be disappointed, because there is clearly way more to this track and the game aside from the 10+ seconds that we saw. Just the idea of a night and day cycle though actually brings so much potential. Would it work like Sunset Wilds or Lakeside Park, just where the atmosphere changes as you progress through the track? Or could we see something similar to Animal Crossing's track, just where the seasons will change every time you play it? I'd actually prefer it to be more like Animal Crossing, just so every single time you play on a track, it feels different. I of course have seen the theories about Yoshi's Diner. Some people were saying that thing underneath it could be a wonder flower and it could change from night to day, for example. However, if you look carefully, you will see this is actually not a wonder flower, and instead, it actually looks like a bag of some sort, just with a smiley face on it and also some sort of smell aroma around it. So I actually think it's part of the track as a gimmick or something, but I have no idea at this point, and I'll have a separate video on that in the future. Still though, the idea of a day and night variant for different tracks, or even a weather system kind of change, would just be extremely incredible. Using this feature, I believe will actually change up retro courses for the better, which leads me into my next point. We've just had a ton of retro courses come to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 48 to be exact, and when you add in all the retro tracks from the base game, well, we're up to a huge freaking number. That's not even mentioning all the retro tracks that came to Mario Kart Tour. And then in Mario Kart Tour, you had different variants, some being reverse, trick courses, and even some just having alternate routes. My point is, we've kind of exhausted a lot of the retro courses. However, having 24 races now will mean that these retro tracks need to be accommodated just to fit into this new mechanic, which I guess would make them feel new. Changing the tracks isn't going to be a problem for Nintendo, I can tell you that much for free. And sure, there's a lot of retro tracks that we haven't had remade, like Toad's Factory for example, and I see you. I really want retro courses to return, but the reality is, we just had the booster course pass like 14 months ago. I think if they're going to return, they're going to want to make it somewhat different, and I think just having nighttime variants would be a really good solution just to this. Just as one example, by the way, I'm not saying if we don't have night variants we're not going to get retro courses, just something to make them a little different. Then we could easily have some retro courses that are fan favorites that just came into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just return in a completely new way. Imagine driving through Coconut Mall at nighttime for example, and just seeing all the lights reflecting off the polished floors. Some tracks like Rainbow Road, Bowser's Castle, or even Luigi's Mansion would somewhat lose their atmosphere if they did have a day and night cycle, but there could easily be exceptions to this rule. Then there's the question of if anti-gravity will make a comeback or not, and my answer is I simply just don't know. The way the kart mechanics seem to work in this game, which I discussed in my last video, shows a lot more realistic suspension with a lot more greater control. But then again, this part of the course could easily be anti-gravity as well, so it's really up for debate. I would go as far to say that I think getting night variants of the courses is somewhat likely. We already have things like wind effects in this game, which we can see really clearly from where the flags are moving in the trailer. I also think that retro courses are more than likely to return than unlikely, but I do think bigger changes will probably have to be made just due to the new 24 race mechanic in this game, and also to make them not feel too familiar to the ones in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, cause the Switch 2 is in fact backwards compatible, so they can easily just put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in to play some of these retro courses. But what do you all think? I would honestly love to know. Do you think I'm just looking way too deep into this? And trust me, I won't be offended if you say yes. But also, do you think that nighttime variants are in fact possible? And how do you think they're gonna handle retro tracks in this game? I would honestly love to know all your opinion. The exciting part is we just simply don't know at this point, and we're obviously gonna learn a lot more in the next few months. If you did enjoy this video, then it'd be much appreciated if you could leave a like and also subscribe. It honestly really helps out the channel. I have a lot more content planned for the future for Mario Kart, including theory videos, prediction videos, and just other videos as well, so stay tuned. Also, when this game actually comes out, I actually want to do what I set out to do when I started the channel, and actually create some unique gameplay videos and just stream a lot more, so get keen. Until next time though, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!